So, there's this line in Texas, north to south. Well, at least it seems to be, at least this stretch of highway, where, North Texas is dry, arid, it's North Texas. But just north of, it's Childress, Texas, there's this, and it's not even subtle, it's fairly abrupt change in the landscape and the foliage, the greenery. This is about the part where I actually start to dig the drive. And once I get south of Dallas, I love it down there. Always have. I had a friend from high school who his parents had lived down there for a number of years. We visited them. And I dug it. It's hot and humid, at least a good chunk of the year. People lament that. But I thrive in that. In fact, last year at this show, the crew, I remember Butler and Josh and a couple of others, crying. No, crying is a strong word. Lamenting. Words. Lamenting the heat and humidity and how oppressive it was, bearing down on them like a heavy thing. It's a Queensryche reference, really, a 2-ton heavy thing. Anyway, and I was absolutely tickled. Well, that's kind of messy. I was absolutely tickled pink at the climate. I could not have been happier. I thrive in heat and humidity. Just so I'm driving, so I have to look. The flap's down, so I have to make sure I can, not hit a cow, which would really, really suck. But no, there's this line in the landscape. It starts to get these rolling hills covered with this shrubbery foliage and trees, and then the air, it becomes moister. And there's a smell to humid climates. If you live in an arid region, you don't know it, but there's a difference in the air that I really have always appreciated. That's why I enjoyed visiting Florida and Louisiana as a kid, is that difference in climate. And I've crossed that line about, probably about 30 or 40 minutes ago. I entered this region where they get more rain, and I feel bad for them. Dallas and Houston in particular they've been getting hammered with rain, which keeps things green, but it's just at such a terrible cost. I did want to mention, and Alexi, this one's for you. Everything here is, so far, same size, not bigger. Definitely not bigger. It is that tree, those blades of grass, same size as every place else, not bigger. So, just not denigrating, just saying things are not all bigger here, because they're not. They're just not. But yeah, this part of the country, I know my dad likes this part of the country. He always, I think, dreamed about the Chisholm Trail and riding horseback across this landscape. And I can see the appeal, I think, to that. Dad's not really an animal person at all. He's not. And, at this point in his life, he was born in 29, so he's got a few miles on him. He's stubborn. Anyway, yeah, but as a young man, he used to swore the Italian. That's where I get the nose, I think. Anyway, yeah, he felt very highly about this part of the country. And like I said, I can see when you start, and particularly when you get south of Dallas into that region, it's gorgeous. It really is pretty countryside. Not as pretty, no offense, not as pretty as the Ohio valleys. If you ever get a chance to run, was it 76 and then 80 across the north part of the country through Ohio and Pennsylvania, which I'll be doing, and I'll give you a play-by-play there, but that is some of the prettiest countryside I've ever seen in my life, short of Well, actually, the English countryside, out between London and Basingstoke. That was some of the prettiest, too. Alaska's nice. Drove across Alaska, a piece of it, and then flew. That's a whole other story. But I've seen gorgeous country. And like I said, you get Dallas and South. It is gorgeous country. It is. I don't know why I told you that, but it's true. If you ever get a chance to drive cross country a lot, I recommend it, especially if you're a little younger. I'm a little long on the tooth for this, but that's not brown. It's definitely not. Anyway, seeing this nation, or even any landscape at this pace, in a ground level, it kind of connects you with it in a way that most people don't appreciate. Certainly less and less anymore. I think road trips are fewer and fewer these days with the advent of everything going on, and airlines and trains. Well, maybe not trains as much here. But take some time out of your life to just pick one point on the map and a long line between it and someplace else that's different. And just go for a drive. Take a couple of weeks if you can. These trips I do in a day or two, but even then it's worth it. I never get to stop and appreciate the things I would like to. A buddy of mine offered to let me stay he's got a place in Galveston, and offered to let me stay, and I would love to do that, but I can't. Sorry, man, I want to, but I can't. But just seeing it, let's let me beat this dead horse. It's worth seeing. That's all for now, just north of, I believe, Childress, Texas. Vaya con Dios. Ciao.